Welcome, guys. It's fresh out of 88. Back again. You already know. You rocking with the best. All right, let's go. What we got? Gentleman's Guide to a Wife. At the bottom, if you can see it, you got the birds. The birds. And just so we can get it clear here, these like you got your harlots here, you got your wives, your modern women, your ladies, and your birds. These is always that we categorize our women. Birds are interesting, but they're bottom creatures. They the bottom hoes. The average little, not the average. This is below average. This is far below average. This is, like I said, bottom John. They usually come with poor personal hygiene, unpleasant company. I mean, they're just totally unpleasant to be around. Sometimes they come in the form of stragglers or hood rats. And, far too often they come with multiple kids and multiple kids' dads. All right, so that's just a breakdown of birds. Next up the chain, you got the harlots. And harlots are pretty much a hose. All right, but see, harlots break down into two distinct groups. On one side, you got your workers, and then on the other side, you got the hoes. They're just hoes. Thoughts, some people call them, but they're just hoes. All right, and so what is the difference? The difference is the exotic dancers, they are professionals, They are, professional strippers. Now the strippers, there's a difference. It's the line that you gotta draw. The strippers are the ones that's just complete sluts with it, like just totally out there loose as a goose. Just like the difference between a porn star and a prostitute. Porn stars are on camera, usually more professional. You got to do some extra shit to be a porn star, but be a prostitute, anybody could be a prostitute. Same thing with escorts. And then your Tinder thoughts. The escort's a worker. She's got to get a job of some sort. Do some kind of paperwork, maybe get a test. But a Tinder thought, just get on Tinder, meet a dude, fuck a dude, keep pushing. Probably get some free lunch and some Skittles. But for the most part, she just, Tinder thought it up. That's what a Tinder thought is. A Tinder thought. That's what they call them. So pretty much a harlot is a hoe. And to sum it up, it's a woman who deals with men for money or personal gain. That's your harlot. And this up here, this is like to simplify everything. A harlot extracts money out of men. So she takes the M is for man, obviously, and then she subtracts money out of them. So that's how she gets her money, the harlot, right? Moving on to the modern woman. And the modern woman is going to be the vast amount, the most out there, okay? And if you're in the chat, I can't see you. Don't be messing up my chat, yeah. So, anyway, back to the presentation at hand. All right, so the modern woman, this is the most of what you're going to find out there, gentlemen. Modern women are independent, right? Yeah, they got their own shit, their own house, their own car. They're pretty much an adult. Usually they're in retail or in the medical field, like a nurse or something. This is not like definite. This is just what I just thought I should throw that in there anyway. Usually a single mother's, one baby daddy, most cases, if they got a child. Now, this is where you get ugly at, because usually these women are high mileage. They're high mileage or on their way to be high mileage. It comes from being a Tinder thought. You get those miles racked up. But it also result of being, heavy on social media, just out there. These women are generally highly entitled. So yeah, these women are usually entitled for like you just owe them. All right. And none of these things are neither good or bad. I'm not denouncing any of this. I'm just calling out the facts here. So modern woman, usually equate money to man, which means that um she's the type she's not dating no broke nigga. She don't call her gold digger, but she ain't dating the broke nigga. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? Don't call her a gold digger, but that's what pretty much sums it up. So she kind of equates it. She thinks that a man should have money and pay for everything, and she should just. Most of them think that anyway. But moving on to the ladies. But I want to talk about this barrier right here that separates the modern woman, the harlots, and then the ladies. All right, the ladies generally got higher education, PhD, generally hold higher like jobs, CEOs, lawyers, executives. These women are generally highly entitled, super duper independent, and because of that, they're super contentious. These motherfuckers will argue you down about a raindrop on a sunny day. I swear to God. So, but they're well spoken though. And they can speak real well. They're not like the birds who speak ebonics pretty much, or the harlots who speak that snap neck talk. You know, I don't know really how to speak that, but and then modern women with their speech, they generally fall in the middle, somewhere in the middle, ebonics with the, you know, because they generally got some kind of education too. The moderate woman, we can't lead. It's not like they don't have any education. It's usually medium, moderate education. That's why they're modern women. All right. And that brings us to the wife. The wife. This is what men want to, you know, spend their life with the wife. And the wife usually equates money. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. The ladies, the higher educated CEO, lawyer, executive people, those ladies, they usually put money over men. It's like they're men. They hustling just like you. It's almost like they in competition with you. And I'm gonna give y'all some examples of each one. I might have to do this again because I'm messing up. Anyway, I'm gonna give y'all some examples. I'm gonna give y'all a real life example of the bird, of the harlot, of the modern woman, and then I'm gonna give you an example of the ladies. Then we're gonna bring it to your wife. But the ladies specifically put money over men. It's like they're a man themselves. They hustling. They just like the man. So, the harlots get their money from men. The modern woman equates it. Oh, the man should do this, that, and the third, that, and that. We know how this goes. And then the ladies put the money over the man, like the money in her career, everything is more important. You know? So, and the wall right here that I discussed is usually the income or the education. That's the wall that separates them, that really keeps these two types of the modern woman and the ladies separated. And that's usually what keeps the ladies. That's it. That's what keeps the ladies out because of their education. They're highly paid. They generally do like more different stuff. Those like kind of a barrier between the modern woman and the ladies. It's real tough to break that for the ladies out there. But anyway, moving on to the wife. And the wife, they hold the dominant position over everything. This is the most powerful because the wife puts the man over the money. Because the wife knows that the man is going to bring all that shit. She knows that the gentleman, and we're going to get into that because it's also a chain for the men as well. And I'm going to drop that probably next, probably in a few minutes, but I don't know how I feel. We'll see. But the wife's at the top of the food chain. The wife is a very interesting creature because a wife could be all of them. But the fact that she's a wife keeps her out of the whole activity and then the bird activity. So the fact that she's a wife elevates her above that shit, but she can be any one of these. And that's what makes her a wife. It's kind of a weird say. It's like a hoe can only be a hoe. Modern woman can only be there. A lady can only be a lady, but a wife could be a mom, and that's what makes her special. And she can do it graceful. She can do it with honor. She can do it with integrity, and she'll do it diligently, day in and day out, and she won't falter. That's what makes her who she is. It's almost like a feminine version of a man doing feminine shit. That's what a wife is. So, yeah, let me get into some examples of this. All right. I'm gonna get into some examples, and I also want to draw some other parallels and answer questions that motherfuckers might have in the chat. So, pretty much, if we go all the way back to the beginning, all right, back to the beginning. Your birds are your bottom feeders. The harlots, they're your workers. You know, your exotic dancers, your porn stars, strippers, prostitutes. There's a difference between your exotic dancer. Your exotic dancer probably ain't taking nothing off, ain't getting touched, just getting a bag of money and going. Probably never have to talk to a guy. You know, real high class stuff, really high class. But the stripper, we know the stripper down there twerking, busting cheeks, everything, you know, headlights wide open, you know, the whole 9 yards. The porn star usually takes a little bit more to be a porn star versus a prostitute, you know, different little classes, but nonetheless, they're both harlots or hoes. I don't really like to say hoes like that, especially on live, but harlots is pretty much hoes. To give you some background on that word, harlots are, it's like an old word, and that's where hoes come from, because a harlot is pretty much what we call a hoe today. So, but the harlots deal with men for money or personal gain. That's what makes them a harlot. This way, extract their money from. They get their money from men, right? And the interesting thing about the harlots and then the modern women's is the modern woman and the harlot is completely interchangeable. Completely interchangeable. Because the modern woman, because of her independence, she pays her own bill, she does this and all that. But a lot of times the modern woman ends up relying on a man for extra things, trips out the country, high-end designer things, a lot of extra things because she's so independent. She's doing all her own things. This leaves little money to live a good life. So the modern woman does rely on a man. This signal up here, this symbol up here means the M is for the man, and the modern woman generally equates man to money, as if a man should come with it. As she even puts money into her idea of what a man is. It's not the fact, oh, she wants $1 million. It's the idea that money's there, and the modern woman sees money as equal to a man. Like, this is what a man should. So I hope you get the picture. As far as the harlots, they strictly get their money from the men. They get their money from the men. The modern woman equates money to men, and then the ladies put money over men. It's as if they're men themselves. They're hustling, trying to get it. They're generally higher education CEOs, lawyers, executives, highly entitled, independent, super independent, actually. But they're also super contentious because of their high work competition in their work environment, because of all the competition that makes them contentious as far as a relationship. It makes them very contentious. And the modern woman feels entitled because she sees the wife getting the wife privileges, and it usually makes the modern woman entitled as well. And the reason why you see nothing under the wife, besides the fact that the wife puts the man over the money, the ladies put the money over the man. They working on their career, they're hustling on their job, they're really focused, they're going to college and all that stuff. But the wife is putting the man over money. She realizes the man is the most important. If you're looking to have a family in the way, the man is the most important piece in that structure. Without the man, you really don't have a family. So she puts more emphasis on that thing, that man, than on the money, because she realizes this is what's going to secure her long after her career. And, you know, if she had kids, well, if she had a man, she probably would have kids, right? But long after the kids are gone, it kind of provides some security, even if you do divorce them and get a couple $100,000 a month or $2 million a month. It's security. That's why being a wife is important. But the modern woman, just to go back to the modern women, they're independent. You know, sometimes they're usually single mothers with one baby daddy. That's kind of a staple of a modern woman, actually. They usually work in the retail, some sort of retail. They usually uh like retail managers or medical field. They use social media heavy, and they're high mileage. They what we call tender tots. Tender tots. All right. So just I had to make sure I double down on everything. I'm standing on it. This is what I believe is we can call. I guess I'm gonna call it a formula. I don't know. That's what we call a bird. That's a bird. If you ever seen one, that's a bird. It's a bird. It's a bird. Yeah, it's a bird. That's it. That's a prime example of a bird right there. Yeah. I don't know what the hell we got going on here. What the fuck? Nigga. What? I'm gonna get this off your screen, man. Let me get this off your screen. Let's get an example of a horlet. And this is a good one because this one right here, this is actually two birds with one stone. And I'm gonna show you the same chick. And I kind of wanted to surprise y'all, but whatever. I need to finish this up. I don't want to take up too much of y'all time here. So shit. Oh man. They're not giving me the option. I'm gonna give y'all my entire screen. Whatever, right? Let's get it. All right, so this is what we got right here. This is the example of a horlet. And I'm gonna show you her on her horlet bag, right? This is her in her horlet bag. This one. This is the horlet bag right here. This is an escort level horlet right here. But you see what I'm saying? Just straight dotting out here. No real purpose. No, nothing. You're not doing anything. I don't know how many of those gowns they sold, but she was selling the hell out of it. You know what I'm saying? But this is an example of a horlet. Like, look at her. Well, I think, is that Tiana Trump? Yeah, that's Tiana Trump. We all know who that is. They kind of look alike too, so it's hard. I think this is Brittany and that's Tiana. I don't fucking know. But yeah, these bitches is hoes, man. I hate to put it out there like that, but these is hoes. Straight up thoughts. And y'all follow them. Y'all nut ass niggas. This is her ultimate thottery. This is the ultimate thottery of a female could do. This is the ultimate thottery right here. This is the ultimate thottery. It don't get no more thottier than this. Now she's good at thotting it out. I'm not saying like I'm displeased with her performance or anything. What I'm saying is I'm just showing you that this is a harlot at its finest. This is a harlot at its peak, a blossoming harlot. Behold. So that's a harlot and a modern woman. Let me show you on her modern woman in her modern woman bag. Hey, boom, right there. Boom. This her and her modern woman bag. Right? Boom. Bam. That's it. She's a modern woman harlot. I told you they're interchangeable. We all know what she did. We're not going to talk about that this time, but I wanted to use her as an example. This is a harlot. Straight up, ho, thought. This is also her modern woman bag. She's in her modern woman bag right here. independent. I don't need no man. But your hypersexuality content suggests otherwise. I ain't mad at her. I don't know what she's talking about, but I'm giving y'all the information. You know, this is a hoe. What I say? What do I say about the modern woman? One baby. You got one baby father right here. The tender thoughts. Didn't I say that? One baby father. Boom, right there. Boom. Where the hoes? Hoes get their money from men. That's what they do. It's not nothing wrong with it. I can applaud some hoes like this hoe right here. I can applaud what she did. She got the bag. Now she's got to explain it to that boy what went down. But ain't none of my business. All right, so we need an example of a lady, right? We need an example of a lady. So let me find us an example of a lady. And look, I want y'all. I want to be 100. I want to keep it 100, right? I do this totally for free. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody pay me nothing to do this. I just do it because I feel like a lot of guys don't got this information. So if you'll share this video, if you'll go to Facebook, join the Gentleman's Revolution. Join the Gentleman's Revolution. Like the video, subscribe, fuck with the ball. You know what I'm saying? Fuck with the ball. So all right, yeah. So we were talking about a lady, right? And what were lady? The high class ones. You know, it's the ladies, right? They were high class. So yeah. That's a good example of a lady. You think so? You think it's a good example of a lady right there? Tracy Ellis Ross right there. I think that's a good example of a lady. I don't know, but I mean, that's my opinion. You might have a different example, but that's a lady right there. Ladies. So what about a wife? What about our wife? What are we looking at in the wife department? Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, but what we're looking at in the wife department? What we're looking at in the wife department? I don't know. Who you think? Put something in the comments. Who you think that is like the perfect example of a wife? Let it be a black woman. Please try to keep it in the black people category. I would really like to know what you think. Who do you think is like a perfect example of a black wife in the black community today? Like a good example to be a wife. Who do you think? And also, if you're a lady watching, what class do you think you in? You think you in the Bird class? Are you in the Horlick class? Are you a modern woman? Are you a lady? And are you a wife? And just so you know, a wife doesn't have to actually be married to be a wife. A wife is just who they are. It's their values, you know? So join the Gentleman's Revolution. Let me give y'all this example of a wife because I know y'all waiting. Y'all know who that is. Yes, I think that's a good example of a wife, right? Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you ain't subscribed. Make sure you join the Gentleman's Revolution Facebook group. Do it today. Your life depends on it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Fresh out of 88. We back again with another live broadcast, probably in 10 minutes. Fresh